Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. Today is January 26th, and this is going to be our Sunday Stock Talk. If this is you tuning in for the first time, for those that are not familiar with how things work, pretty much, again, the stock market is open Monday through Friday. So what we do is we come together as a team and we talk amongst one another about the top stocks we see value in preparation to kind of just get warmed up and understand or have a better focus on what to pay attention to when it comes down to this upcoming week. So during this live stream, if you guys would like me to break down the top stock that you see value in, all I ask you is to make sure that you post it in the ticker call out format. So Ismail just posted the ticker call out format. I just want to make sure that you do your own due diligence before asking for any assistance, of course, or other people's opinions. So yeah, 100% we are aware of the unfortunate accident with Kobe Bryant. So definitely, yeah, I do agree with you guys. It's super sad. I don't even know what to say. It's Justin and I were talking about it, and it's so crazy how literally it wasn't that he was sick, or it wasn't that there was any issues. It's just it's an accident, and life can change so quickly for someone, and I think that's why it's very important just to it's much easier said than done, right? But I think all of us can try to appreciate life and really, appreciate those people around us and make sure that we don't, take our time for granted when we do have one another. So, but yeah, I don't really want to talk too much about that, if that's okay. So let's go ahead and I wanted to quickly touch on natural gas. A crazy push on natural gas. This was right around 1.90, which is where we were trading at on Friday. This is Sunday, so the futures opened. So if the market were to open right now, obviously this would be a huge push in correlation to UGAS, right? This would be a huge pullback for DGAS. So I think this is super important to pay attention to. And if you haven't already, you guys can go on over here. Well, I don't have any open positions or anything like that, but I'm really excited to see how the market opens tomorrow. Right now, it looks like we're getting a lot of consolidation. So it doesn't mean that natural gas has to continue to push up. It just means that there's a big push, right? So it could either mean that it can then pull back and recover, right? Or give back some of the margin that it made, or begin to show signs of an uptrend. So altogether, I'm very excited to follow up with natural gas in the morning and try to see if we see a little bit more of a direction. Because again, right now we're kind of just consolidating right now. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start breaking down your guys' top stock. So what's good on Darwin? So we got ticker symbol TGT. Here we go. So TGT, here it goes. I'm going to go on the 180-day chart very quickly. And yeah, I definitely see why you're bringing this up. Overall, it is a very consistent uptrend. It looks like it's been pulling back quite some bit. One of the biggest focuses that I have is direction. Like you guys just saw, when it comes down to my trades on natural gas, all I pay attention to is direction. I'm a day trader, so I focus on the direction for that day. When it comes down to this, yeah, we are consolidating. We are trying to find a support, but we're not really showing signs of an uptrend, and it's a continuous descending pattern, meaning that it just continues to lose value as of right now for the past month. So what I would say is, if you're so certain that it's going to reverse, allow the opportunity to present itself, right? Let's wait for that confirmation. Let's wait for higher highs, and let's allow that direction to prove itself to us to make the investment or trade worth taking. But I 100% agree and can see why you're bringing this one up. It's at a price point that it does look oversold, meaning that it has recovery potential, to put it at least into simple words. But again, we don't know how much more it can sell off. So that is why I would say that I'd be very careful with my entry, and I would really wait for that specific confirmation. So do you ever do swing trades? I have before, of course, right? So Jeffrey, to kind of answer your question, of course I have before. Do I do it now? No, I've noticed that as a day trader, I've really enjoyed entering and exiting and closing my entire positions all within the same day. I've noticed that the market hasn't been as consistent, and this was going back to almost a year. It was when I stopped taking swing trades because I saw there to be inconsistencies and focused more on day trades. But again, that's just my approach. It doesn't mean that that's what you should do. So here it goes. Ticker symbol ADT. So, all right. Here we go, ticker symbol ADT. Overall, we were showing signs of an uptrend. It aggressively began to sell off. It looks like it's building a support. Watch out for that MACD. As you guys can see right here, it's already showing signs of a resistance, and it's pulling back already. And the RSI is also a little bit more on the overbought side. Again, this is a continuous pattern, so one of the things that I would really pay attention to is its overall direction. If it actually begins to show signs of recovery potential, then great, it would make sense. Then I can slowly add, to my position size. But until then, it looks like it might actually be approaching a resistance right now and actually might continue to sell off as it's been selling off ever since it hit highs of 971. So I would be very careful with this. Again, it does have some margin to get back based off of previous lows, and again, direction is definitely key. So I would set my alert, I would follow up with it, and maybe when the direction is a little bit more clear, that's when I would be a little bit more once the direction is a little bit more clear that it's showing signs of an uptrend, then I would feel more comfortable, right? And that's the thing. You want to feel more comfortable when you're taking these positions, especially if you want to hold overnight, right? So we got ticker symbol DVT. What's going on? So here it goes, DVT. All right. Doesn't look like it's gonna pop up. I don't know if I typed it in correctly. No, I did. All right, here it goes. So BPMX. Here it goes. So this looks like a pump and dump. You could see that it's an overall penny stock. It's a descending pattern, and it continues to make lower lows and lower highs. It looks like it built a support. It looks like it recently has been receiving more volume, more demand, and then it has these like random pushes. It pulls back, it aggressively pulls back, finds a support, and then aggressively pushes up. So again, I'm not here to say that you can't make money off of these. I'm saying that this is a very high risk, high reward type of approach. So if you do not deal or do well with risk management, this is probably not in your best interest. You have to, with this, it's a lot of momentum, a lot of scalping, and you want to make sure that you're effective and efficient with your overall entries. And if you don't think that you're ready to sprint, right, then maybe starting with something a little bit more slower, a little bit more consistent, maybe something that doesn't move as quick. So I would say that, again, you guys know that I just don't like penny stocks, right? It looks like it's being manipulated. I'm not saying that you can't make money. I'm just saying that it comes at a much greater risk, especially when it's already been pumped. So that's all I have to say about that one. So DBAX. Here we go, DBAX. Alrighty, so we're getting a lot of consolidation here. We were showing signs of an uptrend. It looks like the MACD and RSI, again, we could use those as references, but the direction is not super clear. One of the other things I also want to take into consideration is the upside potential, which, yeah, it's pretty significant. It's about 10 to 20%, depending on where you find there to be a resistance. So I definitely see why you see the potential here, but it's been consolidating so much that I would really need it. And it looks like I already set my alerts right here. So looks like we're setting our alerts at $6. If it makes lower lows, I already have my alert here. And then if it begins to make higher highs and actually breaks the previous high, then again, we can follow up with it. But overall, it looks like we're getting a lot of consolidation here. And if you deal well with that, then great. If not, then I wouldn't necessarily bother with it. Alrighty, here it goes. So NVDA. Alrighty. Overall, very consistent. So I want to talk to you guys very quickly. How many of you guys, and a lot of you guys are just getting started, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. But how many of you guys have been struggling to grow your accounts? Can I get like not a show of hands, but you could say yes or no, right? If you're trading with real money, if you're paper trading, whatever the case may be, one of my biggest kind of hurdles, and it just makes sense, is a lot of people tend to overcomplicate it. I have this saying that I love to say, so it looks like a good amount of people, right? There's this saying that I love to remind our Learn Plan Profit members, and every time that I make a video, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's like, people tend to overcomplicate the simple things, right? It's the simple things in life that I feel like people overlook. And if you're someone that's struggling, so think about it this way: you're learning how to trade. You're learning, right? Yet a lot of you guys are approaching it with a very aggressive way, trading with your own money, or trading with a lot of money, or everything it is that you have to your name to try to make it or break it. You're probably trading more aggressive, kind of like higher risk, higher reward type of stocks. It's up to you guys, right? All I'm here to say is you got to learn how to walk before you can run. Obviously, I'm never here to tell you what you should or should not trade at the very end of the day, right? But what I am here to remind you is that if you're struggling to grow your account, and it's because you're chasing all these different stocks, that if you look at the big pictures or the 180-day charts, and just because I trade DGAS or just because I trade you guys doesn't mean that you should. Just because you see other people make money in other areas doesn't mean that you should trade the same things they do. The biggest, I think, people, the biggest, just, I don't even know how to put it into perspective, is I think one of the things that people tend to overlook is the simplicity behind, consistent patterns, right? And if you're someone that's truly struggling to grow their accounts because you're chasing very aggressive moving stocks, or you're still trying to figure things out, I think NVIDIA, not NVIDIA itself, I can care less about the company, right? I would say that the pattern, right? And I think that, if you were to look back, right, and looking at how NVIDIA is currently trading, right, for the past 180 days, even for the past 4 months, being able to see that, yeah, this thing isn't moving at a very aggressive rate, but altogether in the past couple of months of how aggressive it has grown, it's 50%. So I think that if there's a consistent pattern and a consistent direction, and you can make sense of the trade or the investment, and the direction is in your favor, and all these very little simple things that kind of like, go hand in hand, you don't need to overcomplicate it. You can inform yourself and educate yourself, and again, do it in a very kind of like slow pace. And then once you find a working system, you can get that system and maybe begin to day trade, right? Or trade more aggressive moving stocks when you feel ready. But the biggest thing is ask yourself, how much easier would it be to grow your account if not NVIDIA? I don't care about NVIDIA, but the pattern and the idea behind NVIDIA and how it's currently trading. What if you were to only focus on stocks that showed similar patterns to NVIDIA, similar directions to NVIDIA, right? Not NVIDIA itself, but if you find your own NVIDIA. Do you guys get what I mean? Again, I know it's super boring. It's not this like lavish way of trading or investing, but it doesn't have to be, right? It's the simple things in life that people tend to overcomplicate. So if you see that you are not growing your account, then do your part and maybe focusing your time and your attention in areas where it would actually begin to make sense that, hey, this would actually make sense to put my money here, or, whatever the case may be. But I hope you guys understand the example that, I'm trying to give. It's the idea behind and the pattern that NVIDIA, and then the way that it's currently trading, that I think that, if you're someone that's just getting started, can be very, very useful for yourself. So there's no question that, again, we have a very consistent uptrend pattern. We just recently began to pull back from previous highs at 259.50, and it looks like it's still pulling back as of right now. So a support can be built, and again, I can set my alerts. I would follow up with it, but we don't know how much more it has to pull back. The more patient you are, the more margin you can build for yourself for potential reversal, right? So it looks like it does a pretty good job bouncing off the SMA line. I don't know if we're going to get down there, so all we need to do is set our alerts, follow up with it, and once the direction begins to point, in our favor, then that's when we can decide to, reconsider the idea of entering it if it begins to make sense. So all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we go. So UWT. I'm going to do about 5 more breakdowns, and then we can call it a live stream. So UWT. So this one has been brought to my attention. UWT has been aggressively selling off. So this means that crude oil, again, has aggressively been selling off. The inverse, which is DWT, has been aggressively pushing up. So you guys can check that out right there, right? So DWT was actually the one that was consistently selling off, and then it began to have a bullish run. A lot of people are comparing this to UGAS and DGAS, as they're very similar as their inverse ETNs. And right now, UWT is having a very bearish run, just like UGAS, right? So what I would say is, just because it's oversold doesn't mean that it has to reverse. UGAS is a perfect example. Everyone thought that it was done selling off, and it just continued and continued and continued to drop. So I'm not here to ever try to predict when something is going to reverse. I just take it day by day. The trend is your friend, and if right now UWT is aggressively selling off and losing value and not showing any signs of a reversal, then guess what? Why am I going to try to make money off of that when the inverse DWT is continuously pushing up? It doesn't mean that I can't be prepared and I can't set my alerts for a potential reversal. It just means that I should not enter a hopeful position hoping that I enter at a very low price point and that it begins to reverse. It's we don't know how much it has to give to sell off, so why try to predict the bottom, right? It's again, the simple things. Let's keep it simple. Let's set our alerts, and let's just focus on what's already increasing in value. And it's definitely not right now UWT, right? If that changes later down the road, then great. Once that opportunity does present itself, we can follow up with it then. So here it goes. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So if you're asking me to break down UGAS, I already broke down a natural gas in the beginning of this live stream, so I won't be breaking down UGAS. Here it goes. So NLOK, and this is a short. Here we go. Okay. I definitely see why you're considering to short this. All I have to say is it's a pretty consistent uptrend pattern. Yes, it does have some margin to get back, but again, looking at the MACD and how it already pulled back and it's consolidating enough, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it does begin to push up. Do you get what I mean? Overall, it's a bullish pattern. It's making higher highs, and it's an upward staircase pattern. Therefore, would shorting this be in my best interest? Probably not. Does it have the potential to sell off? Yes, but I just don't know if there's so many other stocks that are continuously selling off and continuously losing value that would make more sense, in my opinion, to short in comparison to go short on something that's been so continuously bullish. So that's my opinion on it. And again, I just take it as what it is. So here it goes. So we got ticker symbol ROAD. I like that. Okay, sounds good. Alrighty. Overall, very consistent uptrend pattern, and then we aggressively sold off after earnings. We're seeing a lot of consolidation. To put it in very simple terms, there is no clear direction. We're not aggressively pushing up. We're not aggressively selling off. And let me ask you this: if you had $10,000 right now that you could invest into anything, and looking at the past movement for a month, is this really something that you want to put your money into? Yes, it does offer some upside potential, just as it offers some downside potential. So that's irrelevant. The current direction right now, I'm asking you, right? For all those that are tuning in, again, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not here to criticize you, but just asking yourself the question: is this really, for this week, the stock that you want to pay attention to when the direction is what? It's unclear. It's just consolidating. It does have some movement, some flow, but there is no true direction. It's not aggressively pushing up. It's not consistently selling off. It's just consolidating. So, I think that when direction is unclear, so is your position, right? Ask yourself this very simple question. When you enter a position and it continues to increase in value, it makes sense that you're going to want to put more money into it because it continues to make you more money, right? But right now we don't have that, right? We don't have any direction. We don't have any way of knowing what's going to happen, right? So because of that, very simple terms, I would say that it would be in my best interest to wait for the direction to be a little bit more clear, so then I can feel more comfortable and stand behind my trade decision of either entering or selling it, right? So I'll set my alerts here, and then we can begin to follow up with it. I definitely do agree that it might be something that you might want to watch if you see value in it, but it's not something that I would consider putting money into right now. So here it goes. Ticker symbol DK. I appreciate you tuning in and for taking time and putting your ticker call out and your call out in the ticker call out format. So overall, very simple breakdown. Continuously selling off, getting rejected by the EMA line. We did recently begin to push up, but again, this EMA line has been acting as a resistance. So because of that, it's irrelevant. Like, yeah, you can scalp it and you can hope that it does have a good day. It looks like it had a 1.3%. It closed the day on Friday, 1.36%. So I'm gonna set my alert. The direction is still like DK has a lot to prove right now, right? It has a lot to prove, as in, yeah, it does have some upside potential, but just because we're at overall 180-day lows doesn't mean that it can't continue to sell off, right? If you want to make money, then wouldn't it make sense to put your money in something that's showing signs of an uptrend? And just because something is oversold does not make it a good buy. Just because it's viewed as a good deal does not make it a good buy. It could still continue to sell off, therefore losing you more money, right? So let's just keep it simple. Here it goes, SSI. I appreciate you again posting it in the ticker call out format. Here it goes, SSI. So this one's all over the place. Yeah, this one looks like a true pump and dump. Huge drop from 950 all the way down here. Very simple. With all this volatility and all this inconsistency, I'm not here to say that you can't make money trading it. I'm saying that it's not worth the risk for me. All of this crazy movement, especially, like, I would definitely not hold this overnight just to see this huge drop and all this inconsistency and this change of direction. It's just, again, if you're someone that's already struggling to grow your account, this is probably not a position that you want to put yourself in. That simple, right? Here it goes. So Qualcomm, I appreciate you tuning on in. Here it goes. Alrighty, what do you guys think about this one? I would like your guys' help on this breakdown. I like this one. So we got Qualcomm here. Can I get your guys' input? So second time he skips my ticker. I promise you I'm not skipping you, Michael. There's other people posting their tickers. It's just whoever's I see first. So what do we see here? Bounced off of the SMA line before. Overall consistent uptrend pattern. What's going on, G-Man? I'd wait. Definitely, right? So why would you wait? So you guys are picking up on this overall idea, right? That it's continuously bouncing off of the SMA line, right? So it aggressively sold off from 96.34. Now it's at the SMA line where it tends to bounce. Just because patterns tend to repeat themselves, but they don't have to. So what would you do? Wait for a true bounce and wait for a true confirmation. Simple, right? So it does have an up and coming earnings, so watch out for that. That's going to be on the 5th of February. But again, it looks like it is trying to build a support, and we could follow up with it. The RSI, the MACD, is showing signs of this a little bit more on the oversold side. But again, just because it's oversold does not mean that it's a good buy, right? Just because it's a good deal doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good buy. This thing can continue to sell off. It could completely break its pattern, and all we have to do is wait for confirmation. It's not that you're asking yourself to do anything extra. It's actually asking yourself to do less. It's just wait for confirmation, and then you can revisit the idea of taking a position. So I want to see the potential that it has to offer. Let's see. My TOS is beautiful. It's not working. Okay. Wow. That was frustrating. That was about 7%. So I just wanted to see if it was a trade worth following up with. And I definitely do think that with that consistent uptrend pattern and with this opportunity that we're kind of getting right now, it would be something to revisit, and it's worth to revisit, right? So let's go ahead and smack that mouse. All right, let's go ahead and do 2 more, and then we'll leave it at that. Here we go. So we got ticker symbol ARWR. Okay, so overall, it was a consistent uptrend pattern. We saw a lot of consolidation here, and it's been selling off ever since. So no signs of a reversal. As of right now, its true direction is aggressively selling off. Just because something's oversold does not make it a good deal, especially because it's a pharmaceutical company, so crazy things can happen with these. So it does have an up-and-coming earnings report, and again, this one's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, mid of February, or the 5th of February as well. So watch out for that, and as of right now, I just would not touch it. It just wouldn't make sense. So I wanted one that was in the full ticker call out format, and here we go. So we got Microsoft MSFT. So I appreciate you putting in the ticker call out format. So okay, cool. So Microsoft shows a very similar pattern to NVIDIA, right? A very consistent uptrend pattern. So if you are someone that is struggling to grow your account, then maybe something that moves slower, that has more of a true uptrend direction. Again, nothing's certain, nothing's guaranteed in the stock market, but you can begin to focus more of your attention on stocks that maybe align with your experience level a little bit better, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's, you need to learn how to walk before you run, right? And you can learn at your own pace and how to cut losses and how to lock in profits on, you know, all these different things, how to pick up on patterns. So as right now, Microsoft is selling off. It looks like it broke below the EMA line. It does have some margin to give back. Not too sure how much it's going to give back. So I would definitely wait for that direction to again be pointing in our favor. But again, I do like how consistent it is. And I really do think that it's great that you're focusing on something with such a true uptrend direction. So regardless of what everyone else is trading, regardless of what I'm trading, regardless of where everyone else is making their money, it's irrelevant to you, right? You focus your time and your attention on stocks that make sense to you and that you understand and that you can keep up with. I think that you know is a good goal to have moving towards February, right? If you're someone that's actually struggling to grow your account, then do something about it. Stop trading the same stocks that I trade or that someone else's trade or that you're currently trading because it's not working for you, right? That's simple. So all you have to do is focus your time and your attention in areas that you see value in, that you see growth potential, and that makes sense, and that you can keep up with, right? So, alrighty. But yeah, I didn't want to take too much of your guys' time, so it looks like we're right around that 30-minute time period. So I really hope that I earned your thumbs up. If you guys want to tune on in, again, for our live trading session, that's going to be tomorrow morning. That's going to be for the Learn Plan Profit group. So yeah, all you guys have to do is, if you guys are part of the Learn Plan Profit group, just make sure that you are up by market open to be able to watch me trade live. If you guys have not joined our free investing group, that's going to be that first link down below. We're the largest one on Facebook, and we're literally one click away if you guys want to stay connected. If you guys want to be able to watch me trade live, you heard me talk about them. It's the Learn Plan Profit group, and it's the second link below. You guys can take 2 minutes if you like the way that I break things down and you would like the opportunity to be able to watch me trade live in the stock market. Take 2 minutes, click that second link, and learn a little bit more about the Learn Plan Profit group, what we offer, and inform yourself and see if it's a good fit for you. If so, we'd love the opportunity to work with you on a closer basis. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Again, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section, and I really hope that I earned a thumbs up. Like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.